Hello everyone. I hope you're all doing wonderfully today. I am incredibly excited to be here with you because what I'm about to share with you could have a tremendous impact on your English learning journey. It's a simple yet highly effective trick, one that has the potential to completely transform how you approach learning the English language. Now, you may have heard about this before or maybe not, and you might have overlooked its true significance, but trust me, once you fully grasp the power of this method, you'll realize how essential it is for mastering English. Many learners of English tend to focus heavily on grammar, vocabulary, or reading, which are all indeed very important components of language learning. However, there's something that tends to be either underestimated or forgotten about altogether, and that's the method I want to emphasize today. This is something you might have been overlooking, thinking it's not as crucial as other aspects of learning, but believe me when I say this. It is perhaps the most important thing you can incorporate into your study routine. It's so vital that neglecting it could slow down your progress, no matter how much effort you're putting into the other areas of learning. Now, before we dive deeper into this, let's address a common problem many language learners face. Often, we believe that attending classes, doing homework, reading books, and watching movies are enough. While all of those things are incredibly beneficial and should definitely be part of your learning plan, there's one more element that is often missing, and it's the key that can unlock faster progress and greater fluency. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to pick up languages quicker than others, this could very well be the answer. It's something so accessible, and the best part is, you can start doing it right now, this very moment. Are you ready for the big reveal? The method I'm talking about is listening. Yes, listening. It might sound simple and even a bit obvious, but let me explain why it's so powerful and how it can completely change the way you learn English. When I say listening, I don't just mean passive listening, like having a podcast or TV show playing in the background while you do other things. I mean intentional, focused listening, really immersing yourself in the sounds, rhythms, and nuances of the language. Listening actively to native speakers in a variety of contexts allows you to absorb not just vocabulary or grammar, but also the natural flow of speech, the intonation, and pronunciation that are crucial to sounding more fluent. Think about how babies learn languages. They don't start with grammar books or vocabulary lists. They listen, day in and day out. They're surrounded by people speaking the language, and through constant exposure, they start to understand the patterns and meanings. The more they listen, the more they learn, and eventually, they start speaking. This is the most natural way to acquire a language. As adults, we can still learn in much the same way if we make listening a key component of our study routine. Now, you might be wondering why this is so important. The reason is that language is not just a collection of rules and words, it's a living, breathing entity that you must experience to fully understand. Listening helps you to connect with the culture behind the language, which is crucial for gaining a deeper appreciation of English. It exposes you to idioms, colloquialisms, and cultural references that textbooks simply cannot teach. These are the nuances that make a language rich and vibrant, and they are essential for anyone looking to communicate effectively and authentically. So, why is listening so effective? For one, it helps train your ear to understand spoken English, which is often much faster and more colloquial than written English. It gives you exposure to real-world language, the kind you'll encounter in conversations, movies, news, and daily life. Secondly, listening improves your pronunciation because it allows you to hear how words are pronounced by native speakers. You'll pick up on subtleties in accent, tone, and the stress of certain syllables that might not be obvious from reading alone. Moreover, listening builds your confidence in speaking. When you're exposed to spoken English regularly, you begin to internalize common phrases and sentence structures, which makes it easier to replicate them when you speak. Your brain starts to make connections between what you hear and how to use those patterns in your own conversations. Eventually, you'll find that speaking becomes more fluid and natural because you've been training yourself by listening to how native speakers communicate. Additionally, engaging with spoken English allows you to see the language in action. You'll notice how context affects word choice and sentence structure, which can be incredibly valuable. For example, the way someone speaks in a formal meeting will differ greatly from how they communicate with friends. By listening to various situations, you become adept at understanding the subtleties of different contexts, enabling you to respond appropriately when it's your turn to speak. But how can you incorporate listening into your daily life? The beauty of this method is that it's incredibly versatile and can be done anywhere, anytime. You don't need a specific textbook or a classroom. You can listen to podcasts, watch English TV shows or movies, tune into news broadcasts, or even use apps that offer language learning through listening exercises. You can listen while commuting, exercising, cooking, or relaxing. The key is to make it a regular habit and ensure that you're paying attention, not just letting the sound wash over you without engagement. To get the most out of listening, try to expose yourself to a variety of accents and contexts. Listen to both formal and informal English. For example, watch interviews, listen to educational podcasts, and also enjoy casual conversations in TV shows or movies. This will help you become familiar with different ways of speaking, and it will prepare you to understand English in all kinds of settings, not just the classroom or scripted dialogues. It's also helpful to repeat what you hear. If you listen to a podcast or a video, pause occasionally and try to mimic the speaker's accent, pronunciation, and rhythm. This is called shadowing, and it's an excellent technique to practice speaking while improving your listening skills. You'll start noticing that the more you practice, the more natural it feels, and your pronunciation will improve without having to focus on every individual sound. The language will just start to flow. Another great strategy is to listen to something more than once. The first time, focus on understanding the overall meaning. The second time, pay attention to the details, vocabulary, grammar, or phrases you might have missed. By the third time, you should be able to catch almost everything and notice how much more comfortable you are with the material. This repetitive exposure is like a workout for your brain, strengthening your understanding and retention of the language. You can also consider joining language exchange groups or conversation clubs, where you can practice listening and speaking with others in a more interactive environment. This not only enhances your listening skills but also allows you to practice responding and engaging in real-time conversations, which is incredibly valuable. Being able to listen to different speakers in a social setting will give you a wider understanding of how the language is used in various contexts, which is essential for real-world communication. Furthermore, using subtitles can enhance your learning experience. Watching a show or movie with English subtitles can help bridge the gap between spoken and written language, especially if you're struggling to catch everything that's being said. It allows you to see the words as you hear them, reinforcing your understanding. However, it's best to wean yourself off subtitles as your listening skills improve, so you can challenge yourself to listen without relying on visual aids. So, let me remind you once again, listening is not just a passive activity or something to do on the side. It's an active and critical part of your language learning process. It's the foundation that will support all the other skills you're developing, like speaking, reading, and writing. Without regular listening practice, it can be difficult to achieve fluency or even feel confident in real-world conversations. In conclusion, if you want to take your English learning to the next level, don't ignore listening. It's easy to implement, it's incredibly effective, and the best part is, you can start right now. All it takes is dedicating a little time each day to really immerse yourself in spoken English. Whether it's through podcasts, movies, or conversations, make sure you're exposing yourself to the language as much as possible. This will not only enhance your vocabulary and comprehension, but also significantly improve your speaking skills, leading you to communicate more effectively and confidently. So go ahead, grab your headphones, find some interesting content, and start listening your way to fluency. You'll be amazed at the progress you'll make in no time. Remember, the more you listen, the more you learn. Engage with the language, enjoy the process, and watch as your skills improve dramatically. Embrace this simple yet powerful trick, and you'll be well on your way to becoming a proficient English speaker. Moreover, don't hesitate to set specific listening goals for yourself. For instance, you might aim to listen to a certain number of hours each week or focus on particular topics that interest you. This not only helps you stay motivated but also allows you to track your progress over time. Every minute you dedicate to listening is an investment in your language skills that will pay off in remarkable ways. So, let's embrace listening as the game-changing tool it is and dive into this exciting journey of language mastery together.